Welcome to Circles Off here on the Hammer Betting Network, episode number 73. I don't know how Dennis Rodman has worn like every number in the early 70s, but he's worn 73.
I'm drawing blank here.
I can tell you a few that myself and Johnny are both Toronto Maple Leafs fans. I find it's very easy to remember a rival's number. So,
is it Mike Ribeiro? No,
no.
wait. What was he again? 63.
Yes, it was Michael Ryder.
Oh, Mike Ryder.
Wore 73. Brendan Gallagher, 73. And Tyler
Habs.
Toffoli, 73.
Yeah. Montreal Canadiens. Michael Ryder.
Yes. I do know an offensive lineman that wears 73, Isaac Suomalu. Only reason I know that is I watch Sunday Night Football, Cowboys and Eagles, and God, Chris Collinsworth loves this guy, man. He would take a bullet for this guy. The amount of times they like pinpointed him on the broadcast itself was something else. I'm not feeling 100% today.
Still.
This is 2 days removed from the one chip challenge, which I would advise people to not attempt this in any capacity. So for those that don't know, on the Hammer, we do have a show called Luke's Locks. For those who've been listening to Circles Off for a long time, you'll remember we had Luke from Betstamp in studio about a year ago, Luke Campanella. He also gave out a Super Bowl prop, Jesse Bates, to record an interception, which won at plus 550. He has not, he basically reminds us of that at least once a week, at least. But the premise of this show is on Mondays and Thursdays, Luke looks for a quote-unquote lock in a primetime football game. And it started with him locking away like a personal belonging for a week if his play loses, but it's evolved into just doing dumb shit. Challenges. And because Luke has been a very good sport about this, and by the way, like he comes up with the ideas. He takes it to the extreme himself. We have to talk him back on a lot of stuff all the time. He's always got crazy ideas and we're like, no, Luke, like, we can't allow this to happen. But because he's been a good sport about it, we've started to get the rest of the office involved. And if Luke does indeed win his bet, then someone else has to do something. So unfortunately, he did bet on Thursday Night Football a week ago, Justin Fields, to record an interception. And he risked this one chip challenge. And if Justin Fields had played a clean game, Luke could have been eating the chip. Instead, yours truly had to eat this chip. And it's like my stomach. It's like I consumed battery acid. Like,
so you're still feeling it 2 days later?
Oh yeah, like big time rattled.
Wow.
I don't want to get into too many details here because people don't want to hear but like
you would never do it again.
It messed me up.
Would you ever do it again?
I mean, I never want to say never.
Well, how much would I have to pay you to do it again?
I right now it would be a way higher amount than like a year from now.
Because how much is it right now?
I don't know. If you gave me, I don't know, 25K today, I don't think I would do it.
You wouldn't do it for 25 G's.
That
must have been tough. It must have been
it sucked. For those who want to see the video, it is up on the Hammer Betting Network, the hammer.bet. You could also check it out on the Betstamp YouTube account. Yeah, it sucked, man. Like, I like spicy. I know you hate spicy food. So for you, I don't even...
I ate a hot chicken strip yesterday and my head was sweating, so I wouldn't be eating. I definitely wouldn't be eating that one chip challenge.
I have a high tolerance for spicy food. I do like spicy food. Not like I like it with flavor. Not like this is just it messed me up, man. I'm still feeling the after effects, like just stomach gurgling nonstop, like trying to process what it is consumed. And I took like precautions. Like I had some Pepto beforehand. There was nothing. I can't describe the feeling, man. The cartoon, when you watch like a cartoon, was like what Roadrunner and Wile E. Coyote, and like steam comes out of the ears. That's what it felt like, man. I've never experienced that sensation where it felt like my head was gonna explode. My ears were in so much pain.
Yeah, I would never do that.
And like
wouldn't do it.
From the first bite, I felt it all the way up through my sinuses. Like my nose started to get hot. I couldn't get that damn full chip in my mouth either, so my lips were burning.
That was a mistake. You touched it too many places.
Yeah, I messed up, but like I didn't want to break it in half. That takes away some of the allure. So anyways, people can check that out. I don't recommend doing that. I can see why there's warnings on that and why people have been saying like, don't do that. Producer Zack today, Zack Phillips, is dressed in full winter gear because Luke is on quite
an
a run
absolute
now.
heater.
He is on a heater right now. So as part of this week's challenge, which was, what was the bet for?
It was Eckler. He bet Eckler anytime touchdown for Monday's game. And if Luke won the bet, then Zach would have to dress in a full winter gear for the day. If not, it would be Luke in the full winter gear. So flip the cam, Zach.
Yeah, I also don't like that Zach took his gloves off. I think this is part of the...
He's got to produce the show.
I understand, but like part of it is we are accepting things might go wrong with the show. As long as you don't delete it.
I can run up and get them quick.
No, you're good.
There's a pair of ski gloves on the floor. We brought in like 5 gloves.
I brought them down.
Yeah, you got the scarf, the big jacket, too.
You just got a full tube. Yeah, listen, it is what it is. And enjoy the day. Hopefully, whatever. At the end of the day, man, it's Canada. It's not even that warm out.
Well, here's what I'm going to say.
Hey,
so
it's about the show's messed up, like,
it's 4 degrees here. That's not even that
4 degrees Celsius. So today's high is probably going to be somewhere. Well, today's a cold day, so you got lucky, Zach. You got lucky. So it's 39 Fahrenheit right now for those who are listening. Americans that are listening, don't get me started on the Fahrenheit stuff. It drives me nuts.
It's so hard to click the buttons.
Oh, with the gloves on. Yeah, that's those are some big gloves. Those are ski gloves, man. That's but like today's high is going to be like 50 Fahrenheit. So for anyone who wants perspective, Zach's got to wear this around the full day today. I would hate this.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Zach's obviously struggling this morning. Rob's struggling still with that chip. And then I got my own story. This one, no fault of anyone else except for mine. Dumb kid I am. Was out for dinner yesterday. Forgot my wallet at the restaurant. Okay, you're going to be like, well, it's not that bad. Call the restaurant. As I left, was driving home, realized I didn't have my wallet. I was like, I don't have it. Where is it? Check my pocket.
It's a brutal
feeling.
Pocket,
whatever, like, don't have your wallet. I got everything else. And for those of you who don't know me personally, like, I'm the guy who I've never lost a phone, never lost a wallet, never lost anything. Like, very responsible for that with that stuff. Like, I don't crack my phone screen. Like, none of that. So this one hits home. I lost my wallet. And then just as I was thinking, like, shit, where is it? I got to call the restaurant. I called the restaurant. It was closed. I'm like, all right, I'll call back in the morning. Hopefully it's there, whatever. Go back, grab it today. As I'm thinking that in my head, I see the notification pop up on my phone from my spend that like someone spent my card and they're taking it around. So just absolutely gut wrenching, bad, horrible thing. And like, they didn't even use it in a more efficient manner. Like the guy got, I guess, so there's a gas station. It was used at, and then, I don't know if that was like a fill up of gas or a scratchies or something.
Yeah,
lotto tickets.
If it was an even number, like if it was like a $50, $70, something like that, he probably just bought scratch tickets. If it was like something that's weird, then he probably just...
It was like 80 something. It wasn't like a ton of money, but
what was the cents on it? It was like 40.
You know what? I wish I had it. I can't even check now because I'm locked out of my account.
Oh,
I can't even
because he might have just filled up his tank. Gas is expensive. He probably just took his car, filled up the tank.
Absolute brutal. Also, if you steal someone's, or if you know what? It didn't get stolen. My wallet was not stolen. I hate when people.
Well, it was
like,
though.
No, it wasn't stolen. I lost it. Someone found it and they didn't return it. They didn't steal it. Stealing it is like they robbed me and said, "Give me your wallet," and at a threat, or pickpocketed me.
As soon as that guy spends money on your credit card, in my opinion, he stole it.
No. Yeah, like he obviously is in the wrong. He shouldn't be spending other people's cards, but I refuse. And it happened to me. I refuse to say to people my wallet was stolen because that would imply that it wasn't on me. It wasn't my fault. It was 100% my fault. I lost it. I left it there. I was irresponsible.
No, I'm not. You have to take some of the blame.
All of it.
But you'd like to think that there are some people out there that would just find a wallet and they would try to hunt down the person and return it rather than going to buy scratch tickets or fill up a car. Where else did this
Here's
guy
what
go?
I'm upset. Here's what I'm upset about. All right. I had $350 in the wallet. Okay. A good amount of money. You find a wallet, expected value, money in there is probably $50 max. $350 is a lot. Not the most, not the least, but enough money that this guy or girl could have just taken the $350. You don't even have to mail me back my wallet. If you did that, that would have been amazing. You know, send it back to the address on the ID. Bless. But just throw it out. Throw it out and don't use the cards, because now I actually have a hassle that I got to go through. Dispute charges on my card, which is not even worth it because it's like $180 of charges total.
Yeah.
And it's like a hassle for the time. I had to call. I was up all night last night because it was already late that I was left at dinner. I was up. I had to cancel 1, cancel 2, cancel 3, cancel 4. All these cards, freeze my bank stuff. Got to get all the new cards today. Go in person. Go to the fucking Service Ontario.
Yeah. Listen, I know
To get a new driver's license ID, which you can't get online. You know what? My own fault. There's no one to blame except for me.
So this would be a nightmare for me. I'll be honest with you, because just the amount of time. Like, first of all, I know how busy you are, for one, and I'm extremely busy myself as well. My left arm has been messed up for like 2 months, and I can't even go to like get it checked out because of the amount of time that I know it would take. Like, I go play basketball, I leave afterwards at night, and I can barely even hold my arm up. I've got like tingles in my arm. And so the time that it would take to get that done it would just be super annoying. But I need to know what else this guy did on his spending spree.
He spent. So
There was it could have been
two
woman,
charges
by
at
the
a
way.
gas station, which, again, I'm trying to backtrack. I don't really understand it. Why would you do gas station? If you fill up your tank, there's a camera right on there. They're going to be able to pinpoint where you put the card in, and then your license plate's right there. If they didn't have a car, just went in, you can still see that.
Yeah.
Gas station's dumb. After the gas station, ran across the street, Subway, eat fresh.
They were in the restaurant though. What are they doing?
Subway in the restaurant was like $68, which is a lot.
$68 at Subway?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's a lot of, they got
I don't even know how to run up a triple meat and all the cookies that they have in the container. How do you run up a $68 tab at Subway?
Like,
I guess you
must
just
have bought
make
a bunch
subs
of
for the
salmon.
whole week,
Yeah,
right?
impressive.
It's like, I'm going to make lunch for the whole week.
But they bought a few for sure. Then took it over to like a grocery store, and then a few other places, but it was declined by then because I had disabled them. So I was like, it was like a game of cat and mouse. I like disabled one card, and then that card, right when I disabled it, had like a few charges after that were declined. Then they obviously used another card. I couldn't cancel them fast enough. So it is what it is. It's also driving, so wasn't the quickest, but again, my fault completely. And now I got to just deal with this hassle. And you know what? This is the karma of the world right now. I'm the guy, I swear, if I found a wallet, no matter how much money is in there, I'm returning it to the guy or girl. And I will get, if it's like, I've found a wallet multiple times before in my life. If it's ever at a venue, I don't bother like calling the actual ID on the card. I just drop it at the front at the venue, because that's like the quickest way they're going to get it. They're going to call the restaurant. They're going to go grab it. So I do that. I found like credit cards before, and obviously never used them in cases. Obviously you're not going to be able to find that person. I just throw them in the garbage so that no one else could use them. Right. And then it's like, okay, perfect. Lost their card. No one's using it. Get a new one. No disputes. Also found a wallet once and returned it to the front desk with like a couple $100 in it, maybe $200 in it. Now, if I find a guy's wallet today, am I returning that wallet?
Your opinion might have changed now because of your experience, is what you're saying.
Can I justify returning that guy's wallet? If I find a wallet today on the street, can I justify returning it?
Yes. You got it. Yes.
I don't know, man.
Doesn't
the world
change
is just
anything. Two wrongs doesn't make a right.
There's a lot to process.
I know that, but like, I know that, but it's like, I don't know. I'm not going to find a guy's wallet tonight, but like, if I do, then now it's a decision to be made.
For those of you who are watching on YouTube, if you found a wallet with $350 and a credit card, in the comments, tell us what you would do with it. I'm very, very interested to see. By the way, like, most people on YouTube are anonymous, so I'm not going to seek you down and call you a scumbag or anything like that.
You say it on Twitter under the Circles Off account too.
Either way, I'm just very interested. I did find a wallet once. I'm 35 years old. This was probably in my early 20s. I went with some friends to Wasaga Beach, which is just like an hour drive to the beach. Hot spot when you're a younger kid in the summer.
Went there for my post-prom party or whatever.
Nice.
Oh, didn't we all?
Yeah, of course. It's the place to be. What was that place called? Banana something?
Oh, Bananas?
Was it just called Bananas?
Yeah, it's a club.
Yeah, it was okay. Anyways.
The one club in the town. It's a good spot.
I didn't drive. One of my buddies drove. I get out of the car, and as I'm getting out of the back seat of a car, the car next to me has a wallet right on the trunk. Open up the wallet. It's like $200 in there, credit cards, whatever. Here's the honest truth. I took $20. I went across the street to buy beer for the day. And I left the wallet exactly as I found it back on the thing.
For somebody else to steal.
For someone else. Well, maybe. I don't know. Or like
all time would have been if Rob was like, I went, placed a pro line.
Nope.
Started the gambling.
If anything, though, if you're going to place a pro line with that guy's wallet, place a net, like you're going to do $100, place 2, take both hundreds, and then leave one in his wallet. That way, at least if you
could you imagine?
So people will call me out on this for even taking the 20. It was a shitty thing to do. I agree. I do have to, I'll tell you how big of a scumbag I am. Exactly. My life situation at that point was that of debt, poor, losing lots of money betting, didn't really have any money to spend on anything. The worst part is I looked into the back seat of that car and there was a baby car seat.
Car seat.
And I was like, I can't take this money. I felt really bad, but I still took $20 because I wanted to buy beer for the day. But that was what stopped me from taking the full amount. I'm like, oh no, I can't do that. But I have a bone to pick with you too. Once this guy starts spending,
why didn't I go to the thing? Because I was already on the highway.
Why don't you just let this guy just go on the spending spree of a lifetime anywais?
Because I don't even want to call, I don't want to dispute a charge. I'll take the $180 hit. I'll take that hit, no doubt. No questions in my mind. I'm not even going to report that as I canceled them. And now if I have to go start filling out all these forms, taking all these calls, whatever, for $180, that's not even worth it for me.
No, I agree. So that's fair.
If he spent $6,000, now I got to go through all those things.
You might as well just let him keep going at that point.
But then, yeah, see, this is what I'm saying. It's just, what a bad, irresponsible move by me. And the point I'm actually more pissed off about is that I went to go get a new driver's license and you have to go in person to Service Ontario, which is obviously bottom 5 worst spots to ever go. You stand in line, it's miserable.
I'm sure there's worse spots than Service Ontario, but
bottom 5. You stand in line, it's miserable. There's all people there. You probably still got to wear a mask. Just absolutely.
Yeah, it's a disaster. I agree. And anytime you go, you have to get some sort of license done, and you got to go to the spot to get your picture taken and whatever. It's a nightmare. Yeah, let's call it out for what it is.
For $35 for the license, and you can't get I'll pay the $35.
Yeah,
I'll pay $100. Just mail it to me.
Make it easy.
Same license.
I loved when they started extending the passports. That was the best thing that ever happened. Where you could get the 10-year passport now, and you pay $60. Of course, I'm gonna pay that. I would. They're actually way undercharging for
the sloping on that for the pricing slope is $100. What is it $100 for 5-year and $160 for the 10-year? It should be $260.
That's what I'm saying. Whoever did the pricing did not figure it out properly. People would be willing to pay way more to not go back.
Exactly.
Way more. You don't have to just upcharge them $60. So. Well, that makes no sense, but
it's a tough morning for Johnny. It's a tough morning for Rob. It's a tough morning for producer Zack. Dripped on his winter clothing.
Zach, do you think you're gonna lose a lot of weight today?
Nah, he's not gonna be sweating.
I don't have any weight to lose, so God, I hope not.
If you work downstairs,
I was just gonna say though, I'm not gonna complain after seeing what Rob did. The only thing that's gonna suck is actually having to do work. Because my hands.
Who is feeling more heat right now, Zach or Rob?
Rob, probably. Honestly,
of course.
Still,
it's just the stomach is constantly gurgling, and there's it's trouble.
I think we got to tweets that trigger.
We do, but 1 second before we do, I wanted to talk about. I'm just very curious about this because of my mentality. So, for me, I think about karma a lot. Whenever I'm considering doing something shitty, I think to myself, I don't know if this is completely irrational, by the way, but whenever I'm about to do something really shitty, and I know that I'm about to do something shitty, I ask myself, is this going to negatively affect my sports betting? Am I going to start to lose because I did this bad thing?
Oh, you're saying karma for other stuff not related to sports?
Yeah, Or so I'll give you an example.
I just got in a hit and run. Is this Just kidding, guys.
3 or 4 years ago, maybe, I was in Scotland. And I'm walking the streets, just having a day. And there's like a homeless lady with her dog there. And I'm like, I feel bad. Like, I love animals. I don't want to see this or whatever. So, like, I pull out the bills I have in my pocket. And the smallest bill I have is a 50. I didn't realize this. I thought I had smaller stuff. I thought I like had a 5 or something. So now I'm standing there like an asshole, basically. Like, in my head, like, am I going to give this homeless lady a $50 bill? Or am I just going to now move on? And all I could think about was, like, if I don't give this homeless lady the $50, all my bets tonight are going to lose. I had like 8 NHL bets. I'm like, they're all going to lose. I have to do this now. So it's not even like a kind gesture. It's not like, oh, Rob gave $50 to like, that's really nice. Like, I felt forced in that situation. It was going to be like a 5. But I really felt that if I didn't do that in the moment, I was going to lose. So I had a winning night that night. I gave her $50, had a very good night that night. The rest of the trip in Scotland, I was just giving money to homeless people everywhere. Because I thought in my head that this, and I know it's irrational, but like, what if?
I don't personally do that. I don't like feel like that, but I do believe in just like being a good person in general and not like wronging people on stuff.
So you do good for the sake of doing good, whereas I do good so that my bets don't lose.
Within reason. I do believe in just like doing like good business and stuff, right? So like that's really it. But yeah, it's all, you just have to like be a good person, I guess. But yeah, in terms of like, am I gonna just go start giving people money because I think it's gonna like better me down the road? And also that's kind of, I guess that was like more of a moral thing as well, right? It's like you're not even really giving them money for the sake. You're just like, it's a transaction. You're trying to buy some good
Agreed. Yeah, I'm not trying to make it out like I'm some sort of good person. I in that moment,
it's buying goodwill.
I saw a lady with a like a black lab. I'm like, I feel bad. Like, I'm gonna give this lady $5. I pull out money from my pocket, and there ain't this 50, like a bunch of 50s. And like,
if you didn't give her the money and lost that night big, it would have had a bigger mental impact on you than not giving the 50.
100%
the 50.
But like, and then I won that night, and as I just kept doing it because not because I'm a good guy, but like I felt like I know this is irrational and it's stupid. I get it, but like, there's sports fans that do all sorts of crazy shit, and they don't understand why they do it. Like, I will. You know, if the Cowboys win a playoff game, for example, the next week when they play their next playoff game, you better believe I'm going to be wearing the exact same clothes and sitting in the exact same spot that I watched the first game.
With Leaf games too. You have to.
Right.
Or it's even worse. Like, we won game 1 when I was wearing my Matthews jersey, and then I was wearing my Marner jersey, and we lost game 2.
Right.
That Marner jersey is as good as trash at this point.
Yeah, agreed.
You're
I
not
would never
wearing
put
that
it on
for-
again. But the thing is, like, we obviously know that this doesn't have an impact. Like, I know it doesn't have an impact, but what if? What if by, you know, the universe changes just a little bit by me wearing the exact same clothes or sitting in the exact same spot? And I think every sports fan, I don't want to say every sports fan, the majority are wired like this. Like, when they win bets, they try to do the same thing because they think that there's like, what if?
I think it's like amplified if you played the sport too. If you played sports. Like when I was playing sports, it's also just the mental factor of some of the stuff is like, if you do the same things and you keep a routine and then it works for you, and then if you deviate from that routine the next time, then like your mentals are messed up going into it. So then it can actually alter how you play. Yeah. So then it kind of just transfers over to some of the other things you do. Like when I was playing lacrosse the one year, you can ask Goody, we won provincials the one year. And before every game, every single one of us sat beside the exact same people in the same order in the room. Mm-hmm. We did the same warm-up at the same time before each game. We did it in the same order, going through each of it. And then when I would get dressed, I would get dressed with the exact same way each time. One guy would tape my arm guards the same way at the same time with the same number of like loops around my arm. Like we all did every single thing the exact same, went through, won every game in provincials, won provincials. And then like after that, my superstitions were just like amplified.
Of course.
Because it was like, I won provincials by doing this. Like it's obviously something
Yeah.
Good.
You
But it was
could you
just
couldn't
as
have
in a good
won provincials if you didn't do that. Obviously,
Right.
if you had done a different routine, you guys never would have won.
Right.
Quick question: if Luke were to walk in the studio right now and he were to see you not wearing gloves, oh, you got one glove on.
I have to click stuff, man. Like I can't just not do
You
my
could
job.
take off that glove. Yeah. All right. Let's get into
Let's get it. Tweets that trigger us.
I don't know what we're yelling about!
I've never seen you mad.
I get peeved.
Why are you in such a bad mood?
What do you care?
It's only a game. Why you have to be mad?
Love that. Why you have to be so mad? It's a minus 37 in the winter months. All right. This is going to be accompanied by audio for those listening or video. But we were tagged by Jeffrey Benson, who is the sportsbook operations manager for Circa. Hashtag tweets that trigger us for anyone out there that sees something that might set us off. You have to take what they're going to give you. Let's go ahead and play the audio here.
Really, I love the Bengals tonight. The number's awful, but you have to take what they're going to give you. It opened up at 1.5, and I remember talking to Gutsy being like, whoa. Lines that make no sense, they make no sense for a reason. I'm hammering the Bengals minus 3.5 tonight. I just love them. I think it's a good chance for the boys.
All right. So these ones really bother me, right? The lines that make no sense, they make no sense for a reason.
trap game.
So I'm going to forget about everything I think about this and just bet opposite because something's got to be up. Something's got to be up here. You have to take what they're going to give you. I don't really know what he's talking about here because he's like, yeah, you got to take what they're going to give you. The line sucks. The number sucks. But like, you don't have to take anything. You can not bet. That's an option as well.
He also said it opened minus 1.5.
Yeah, whatever it opened is irrelevant at that point. Now the market has processed a bunch of
I
information.
hate this bet, but you got to take what they're going to give you.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like, I there's so many. Why do you think people still think this way? Seriously, why do you think people think that because they can't explain like why? Imagine liking one side so much, right? That you just go and bet the other side. Like, do people not realize where the sports books have an advantage? The sports books have an advantage because they charge you a vig, minus 110. That's why they have an advantage. It's not because of anything else. That is the house edge. Casino games have a house edge. Sports has a house edge. It's whatever vig they're charging on the bet. So like, I never get the whole mentality of like, I think this is going to happen. I can't really understand why anyone else would take this other side. I'm just going to take the other side. It's like you're still paying a vig on a market price that is settled to where it is. You're not helping yourself in any way. I don't understand. I never will.
There's a lot of these ones out there.
All right. We'll move on.
There's a lot of these ones out there, by the way, in terms of like trap game. Like I've been saying it a lot just for jokes now, but there's more and more. This is like a new thing for this year that people like the TikTok guys are getting into it.
I know it's blowing up.
So you're telling me that the Justin Herbert anytime TD minus 800 to plus 100 wasn't a trap?
I'm pretty sure that's it. We got tagged on that one like 15 times.
Is that in there or no? Or
it has to be.
Okay, we'll talk about it off the top.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
Yeah,
okay.
It is here. It is
right here. All right. Blaine Grisak, I'm not sure if I pronounced that correctly, says Justin Herbert has thrown a TD in 26 straight regular season games. Tonight,
regular season also,
regular season. Tonight, DraftKings boosted Herbert one passing touchdown from minus 800 to plus 100. He has yet to throw a TD. Sports leagues and sportsbooks are in cahoots with each other. Changed my mind. Now, first of all, I'm going to start by saying if you make a bet that should be minus 800 at plus 100.
Okay, minus 800 was very egregious. I would not have played that at minus 800. I don't think anyone would have. If you shopped around, you could have found like minus 450. So minus 500, minus 450. So let's say the true price on it was maybe minus 400. So just to be fair, but still.
But if you played, let's say true price is minus 400, even that. If you make a bet at plus 100 on something that is minus 400 everywhere else in the market, you've made a good bet. I can assure you that DraftKings does not give a shit about the $20
Oh,
boost.
this was actually a big one, by the way.
Okay, but
This was their biggest. It was actually a $250 max, and it would have appeared that pretty much everyone and their mother, sister, brother, cousin would have been betting this
yes.
because that's actually a solid value. Like that expected value on this is like $200.
Oh yeah, based off the price and what your max limit is. But the reality is, I can speak from experience consulting for sports books. They don't give a shit about that at all. Like the whole goal is they actually want people to win these bets. This is what they're like, contrary to what you believe. They want you to win some of these boosted odds bets. That gets you in a favorable state of mind where like you have a good experience of the book. Like the books have retention issues when somebody goes and deposits, they lose 5 bets in a row and they're out of money and then they never want to deposit again because they think that, oh, it's this sports book is too hard to beat or whatever. These are made so that in lots of times you'll actually win your bet. Now, not every boost is plus EV, and we've talked about that before. There are boosts that are not, but for the most part.
This isn't even a boost. This was a promotion.
Yeah.
This is a promotion in a sense that DraftKings is like, have $200 each expected value.
Yes.
This wasn't most of the boosts like, hey, here's $3, $4, $5 EV. This was like, have $200. It's going to win. And everyone will be happy and then lose that money later in the week.
Exactly.
But yes, they ended up getting lucky on this one. It happens. They can't just like give $200. It's a better move for them to do something like this. Because when you give $200 in bonus, people are like, oh, I got a $200 bonus. It doesn't have the same appeal to like spend that back as like, I just won this incredible offer that they just had. I won the bet. Now I can respend that.
Right. Now, in fairness to Blaine, I don't want to throw this guy under the bus because it's very possible that this is just like a sarcastic tweet. It could be. You can't really tell when someone puts it in writing on Twitter because the change my mind at the end makes it seem like it's kind of like a joking type of thing. But so many people picked this up and ran with it like it's crazy. Think about this from a logical perspective. The premise here is that somehow DraftKings has gone to Justin Herbert and said, Herbert, tonight you're going to have to take one for the team and not throw a touchdown. Like that's essentially the premise of this tweet. And there's people that actually believe that this is a realistic possibility.
A guy who also got a $17 million signing bonus, by the way.
Right.
So how much are they paying him?
Yeah. How much is DraftKings going to go? Like it's the most absurd premise ever, really.
Also, here's another thing. It's like he was throwing balls still. So
Yeah.
they're like, oh, they're in cahoots. Like, what are you talking about? Like, did he just not, if he didn't attempt any passes to the end zone, maybe you'd be like, all right, he didn't even attempt a single pass. But like, he's firing bombs. Like Mike Will, he had a couple plays where like the receiver catches a touchdown. It's out of his control at that point.
Of course. I did, for Monday Night Football, I did primetime, which aired 8 p.m. Eastern time. Every single week for all the primetime games, we do live stream on the Hammer Betting Network. I did it with Eric Eager. He bet Justin Herbert over pass attempts that night, which cashed easily by the way. So, like, to your point, he was throwing the ball a lot. And there will be times where you throw the ball as a quarterback, and it's exactly that. It's now out of your control. The wide receiver makes a guy miss, scores a touchdown. The running back makes... So, like, if this were ever to be the case where a player, a league, like sports leagues and sports books are in cahoots with each other, like, think about that. What's the league going to Justin Herbert and saying, hey, like, we need you, you know? Like, none of this makes sense. How does anyone believe this? And people will say, like, no, you know, they'll say, Rob, you're taking this too seriously. Nobody believes this. Go look at the responses to this thread. It's like the biggest conspiracy. It's a top 5 conspiracy theory. Put it JFK and then followed by Justin Herbert Monday Night Football. Those got to be the top 2 right there.
On the same day, they also had in Ontario, Austin Matthews boost. He was like minus 160 to score a goal, down to plus 100 versus Arizona. Didn't score also. So it was this fucking roar. Everyone. DraftKings is fixed.
They're obviously paying Matthews too.
Yeah, they had to pay Matthews as well.
This happened on the Cooper Cup one too. They
paid him. They paid Cup. They have a lot of guys on payroll. DraftKings, it seems.
Yeah,
especially a lot of guys who make a lot of money as well.
It's tough. We're just getting rinsed.
So on Betstamp, if you were to go to the marketplace, there is an account called Bonanza Bets. And Bonanza Bets tracks odds boosts in Ontario. Ontario has a ton of sports books. So these are the biggest EV odds boosts. The ROI on betting these is 40.7% since they've been tracked. If the sports leagues and sports books were in cahoots with one another, I'm pretty sure you would not be able to get a 40% ROI by betting odds boosts. That's it. I don't really have anything more to say. Just stop thinking that. Like, it doesn't, people are always looking for reasons to justify why they lost a bet, why something is rigged, so on and so forth. It's not. The amount of money at stake for these players as well, it's never going to happen. The reputational harm it would cause to the league. Like, think about the amount of people that would have to be in the know for something like this to happen as well, and would have to keep it quiet and never discuss it ever. It's a joke. We move on. All right. Mike Randall, at Randall Rant.
Oh, FYI, at the current bet sizing for those, it'd be $2,500 profit. Just letting everyone know here.
Yeah.
When I say, like, yeah, you could do that, there's your proof.
I know.
Well. And those don't even include sign-up bonuses. Just don't dunk your money at the casino. And that should be the biggest lesson. Don't dunk on casino and SGP and all that other stuff, and then you can win. As long as you don't care what you want to bet on. Okay.
That's actually a good idea for an episode one time though. Like I could give 5 tips of things just not to do, and you would immediately like essentially become a break even, maybe profitable better if
there are actually some casino promos though.
I know. Like, you're going to use the free. If you're getting free spins at a casino, I'm going to pump those free spins.
Oh yeah.
Why am I not going to do that?
Oh yeah.
Like, what happens if they just don't?
You got 50 free spins. You think I'm going to get like
Just don't do that 51st spin. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
They hook you in.
Yeah.
Don't do that 51st spin.
It is challenging. Once you get the rush, especially me, once you see those spins once those slot reels are going, whew.
I just don't get the casino rush. Like, I just don't have it.
Yeah.
I'd rather take that money and just fire back some sports bets.
No, like, I agree, but there's no quicker way to, like, just, it's the instant gratification at the Chino. Like, instant. You just, like, put it in and you're like, okay, go. Dude, there's some big hands that people play on blackjack, like these influencers and stuff now, and they actually go on tilt and, like, they're like, I can't believe it. Like, I had ace, I had a 19, and then the dealer was showing a 6, and he got a 20. Like, they're like, that's rigged.
It's like, no, that happens every time.
That's just going to happen.
Yeah.
Like, you can't be playing this. You're playing long enough. You're going to lose all your money. Like, just leave it. You don't have an edge. It's done.
Yeah.
Anyways, all right, what we got here?
Randall Rant. The point spread actually mattered in just 3 of 15 NFL games this week. On the season, the point spread has only mattered in 11 of the 61 games. The winners of the games have gone 50, 11, and 2 against the spread. So this is essentially, I'm paraphrasing here, but it's like pick the winner of the game and bet them against the spread type of thing. I'm going to do some quick math here. 11 divided by 61, roughly 20%, right? In that range, a little bit less than that.
55. Yeah. Okay. Go ahead.
That's a lot. Where the point spread is swinging the game, and like they're 11 of 61.
Point spread only matters if the favorite wins by less than the spread,
but doesn't cover.
Yeah, which is obviously if the favorite wins, they're gonna cover the spread more than 50% of the time, and if the dog wins, and they cover the spread 100% of the time.
It also doesn't point out the fact like you need some sort of distribution of the spreads as well. If every spread is 1.5 or 2.5, of course the team that wins the game is going to cover the spread more. There's way more opportunity to do that.
Yeah, especially if the spread's minus 1.5. It's almost going to happen every time.
And I will say, we're not seeing a ton of big spreads in the NFL this year relative to previous years. For those who are doing survivor pools, you'll know what I mean. There's, on a weekly basis, I think we've only seen like maybe one double-digit spread per week. But regardless, this is 18% of games, essentially, where the favorite wins and doesn't cover. That is a lot. Like, get rid of this whole thing. Like, I've heard this so many times, and it drives me nuts because there's like no scientific or like mathematical data to support it. But it's like, if you're going to bet the favorite, bet them on the spread. If you're going to bet the underdog, just bet the money line. Don't take the points. It's like, no. I mean, like, obviously there's going to be lots of scenarios where you should take the points. The like this. The money line is just a derivative of the point spread.
Absolutely.
So you're making the same bet essentially. You're just choosing one with like a higher variance.
It is what it is. This is obviously not that valuable.
Yeah. Next one.
Nothing to see there.
Okay. Taylor Mathis at T-Math Sports gave out Nestor Cortez over 3.5 Ks on Wednesday on Sports Grid TV. We lose by the hook. This was definitely tagged because of our episode with Sammy P recently.
You think so?
Where he was talking about, can we stop it? We actually should have a campaign to stop this, by the way. The losing by the hook on like these small prop numbers cannot happen.
You could only say lost by the hook if you haven't, if your team covers wins by 8 and you had a -8.5 in NFL.
Where do we do the cutoff though? Like
For 30 points on Kevin Durant's total.
Okay, so I had Noah Gray over 7.5 receiving yards in the game the other day.
I got 7. I lost by the hook too.
So I was gonna tweet out a screenshot, and then I was like, "Man, there's too many people who are gonna think like I'm being serious." So I just left it.
So the lower you go with the number on the stat line, the more ridiculous it is, right? Like if you were to bet something over a half and it ended with 0 and you said you lost by the hook, that's going to be insane. So like the lower, but like, okay, if Justin Verlander's strikeout prop is 9.5 and he gets to 10, I don't know where I draw the line, but regardless, these small numbers, losing by the hook, we have to stop this. We just need an educational campaign that says, no, this is unacceptable terminology. Technically speaking, you can maybe argue that it's right, but it's not. It really, whoever tagged me in this one, I think they sent it to me DMs on Twitter. This stuff, I don't know why it agitates me, but it does.
It is what it is.
Yes. All right. Last one. Gino Donati.
I have actually spoke with this guy's partner before.
Yeah?
Oh yeah, nice guy.
I'm
Matty
telling.
Betts.
I listen. I can't control the tweets that trigger me, and some people out there cannot control the tweets that trigger them. Sometimes people send stuff in. It doesn't have the same effect on me as it does on others, and I don't tend to not include it because like I want it to be real.
Let's hear it.
But Gino here says, I'm telling you bettors right now, Vegas is adapting quickly. The public would have Miami as a favorite in Cincinnati and the LA Rams as a favorite in San Francisco. I used to make lines/odds, and I'm telling you in my 20-year career, this is the first time I'm seeing more and more, quote unquote, true lines used. I don't even know what the hell this is.
Okay. He's basically saying that stuff is getting sharper and that they're no longer putting out bait lines.
Okay.
Obviously, the whole Vegas is adapting quickly. We've gone over that multiple times. It has nothing to do with Vegas, the town.
Yeah.
It's nothing to do with Las Vegas.
Yeah.
They're not making the lines there. Shout out Circa Sports. You guys are making some lines.
Yeah.
I apologize on that. But it's obviously not Vegas. But I guess what he's saying is like the true line is being used more and more, meaning what he means by that is like, okay, these guys do not actually put out a line where they just are trying to incite public action anymore, which for the most part, that never existed in the past, but he is kind of right in a sense that like the true line is being used right now because it gets bet into place.
I don't think that there's any scenario ever. So these are 2 NFL games from a couple weeks ago. Miami-Cincy was the Thursday night game that we went to courtesy of Betfred. Yeah. There is 0% chance ever that a sportsbook would have opened Miami as a favorite in that game.
But he's saying the public would have had that. So if it was like years ago,
but that's not true. Because so here's the like Cincinnati's a 3.5 point favorite in that game, right? 3.5, 4, whatever it is. There might have been more public tickets on Miami, but the average person would never have bet Miami as a favorite. Like the price would have dictated the opinion on that game, period. So like, really the reality is the market is moving quicker these days and lines are getting sharper more quickly. bet into place more quickly. So from that standpoint, I get it, but I don't agree with this at all. I don't like, in my opinion, his scenario would never, like, could never happen. It's not plausible. Like, true lines being used, the process for a bookmaker, like, remember when we had Chris Bennett on, right? He's talking about NFL and MLB lines, and NFL just like sending out a number that they thought was right. Like, that's basically the same process it's always been. It's just one person sending out a number that they think is whatever, and then the market decides where it's going to go with it. Now the market goes quicker than it used to, but like, nothing has changed. There's literally nothing changing.
I agree. This is like, I mean, okay, this guy, I know for a fact, is not a dumb person or a dumb bettor.
I'm not by the way, any of these tweets that we get or whatever, I'm never suggesting that these people are dumb. Everyone is entitled to their own opinion. These are just things that personally bother me.
But yeah, it's not true. It's not accurate.
It's not like it's just, you know, Chris Bennett's going to have a coffee and he's going to be like, yeah, you know what? This game should be this. He's going to send it out. There's going to be some, like, it's not like Circa's at least taking like a decent pop on openers, but the market is going to decide where that goes. Like, it has nothing to do with what the public would like in the game or who they would have as favorite. It has literally nothing to do with that. Zero.
Agreed. Any other tweets that trigger us?
I think that's it. I think we got it down to 5 this week.
If you guys enjoy this show, just want to give another shout out, the 90 Degrees Pod with Kevin Davis. It's a very similar style show. He's brought on a few pro sports bettors. If you like this one, you're going to love that one as well. His most recent episode on kind of like how to avoid getting limited by the sports book. It's audio only. Check it out on Spotify, 90 Degrees Podcast. You can check out all our shows on the Hammer Betting Network. Thank you very much, everyone. We'll see you next week.